What's up, everybody? My name is Matt Vega at O's Nation, and we are going to have a special guest here today. Um, just waiting for him to come on in and join us. Just thought I'd say, what's up, you guys? How was your week? How was your training this week? How many rounds did you guys get in this week? Um, let's see if I can. So, yeah, David, just. There we go, man. I think you already did. Let's see. Yeah. My man, what's up, brother?
Wow, that was cool.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
I'm here. This is David Petrone. Hey, first of all, you caught me, bro. I've been stealing your shit.
uh, you want to know something? I saw the end of my move in the little clip. I saw the end of it, the very
Uh-huh.
end, but I love it, bro. Have at it. Listen, I put it all out there. You know, that's it's what I'm here for. It's my contribution to the community. Man, run with it. Just say my name every once in a while.
Oh,
That's all.
oh no, I don't. I'm not taking credit for it.
Oh no, I love it.
As a traditional gi guy.
Mhm.
I like gi, and when you get to know gi, if you forget, like, you're so comfortable with grips. Like I've said, I don't even like to, you know, hook up with my wife unless she's got a bathrobe on. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, let me
it.
say, I'll just say quick. As being like kind of, I've been pushed into this kind of like no gi guy territory. But yes, I mean, being a wrestler my whole life and stuff, I absolutely love gi. I love it, bro. Look, I'm getting goosebumps. And then the fact that I'm able to kind of still do what I do and add the material to it, like using the gi and the grips and um, uh, uh, I man, for me, it's a challenge. Like I got a little bit of like kind of a little autism, man. I just kind of anything I do, I usually kind of just like rip through it, and I get to the end, and I'm like, fuck, now what?
Right.
But with gi, man, with gi, I met my match. Like I absolutely love it. But yeah, for sure.
We all, I think we all have a little bit of autism if you've been in this game. If you've been in this game, mine is, just being an idiot.
Yeah.
Now the cradle has been around
Okay.
forever, and the chin strap has been around forever. But you've kind of like implemented a game where you kind of weaponizing those two things for jujitsu, and that's pretty slick. So when did you start deciding that, like, you were going to really focus on like another avenue for path to submission?
So.
We had Eddie. Eddie did with the rubber guard, and also you're kind of trying to do this with like the chin strap and the cradle.
So, I mean, with all respect, the cradle's been around since the fucking monkeys were grabbing onto each other. You know what I mean? So I don't take credit for the whole, but its value within just like a traditional, wrestling setting where the pin is valued. It's one of the strongest and traditional holds traditionally within like a wrestling application. But just quick, let's move into a jiu-jitsu setting where the pin isn't valued, beyond catch wrestling. And then guys are comfortable on their back. And even that, even with like say, oh, okay, bring up the 10th planet guys. A lot of them, do yoga on Sundays and can put their legs behind their head while they're watching TV. So they don't care
Right.
that they're bunched up or they're in this confined bunch. So they become a little complacent. So once for me, when I started training with Dean Thomas in like early 2000s, is like around like 2000, around like 2002, I was at the same place with everyone else where, to kind of get control of the momentum or get control of the grapple, you lock up a cradle. Sometimes guys lock it up unintentionally, and then they have control of the situation or the position, but nobody knows what to do with it from there, other than a hold, you catching your breath, based on like the homework and stuff, like once you lock it up, there was really nowhere to go. Or let's just pepper in a little bit of history and go back to where they talk about the match between Hickson and Mark Schultz. And Mark Schultz had him in a cradle for like over 30 minutes. And Hickson said it was like one of the worst positions he's ever had to deal with, physically and mentally. Physically, he didn't have an answer for it. Mark had it locked up. Technically, he didn't have an answer for it, and he couldn't really respond with like technique for technique. Ultimately, he said it where he had to wait him out. He waited him out, and then Mark's hands, he let go, and he put a triangle on him and finished the match. But if we kind of fast forward, if I was like, hey, I was able to, hey, Mark, do this, do that, maybe we would be wearing wrestling shoes and singlets and not jiu-jitsu gis right now. But ultimately, the position has value within like you say with Eddie, with like a headquarters position. Once you lock it up, there's no need to bail on the hold or the position. You just wait for their response. And then from that's where I started to kind of do the homework, where once I locked it up and I was holding these guys, I was just kind of like, I would get similar responses from different people. That's why it started to kind of line up. The big guys, they don't like it. They try to flex and bust out. Strong guys, ego, it's always they want to kick the leg and break free. Like I say, the flexible guys, they're not really threatened by it. So that's why I start to do some of the dirty stuff to them. And then you have higher level guys that try to do like micro adjustments and move different, kind of like not fight the pressure, move within the bunch kind of thing. But within our series of techniques, we have a little bit of something for everyone.
I always use the cradle as a big. I would get it when I'd be in side control.
Uh-huh.
I'd just go S grip cradle, and I'd wait for the little guy to flex, and then I'd like mount.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'd use their own momentum of like breaking out of it and to get to mount. But
right.
I've seen you
But
like
almost when you slide into mount, you're almost kind of like taking away some of your advantage. So I like to move right into submission. I like to take that moment that you see and feel, and you jump right into mount. That's where we start to try and expand a little bit. So maybe instead of me going position for position, let me go from position to submission. So that's where we just started blowing things up. But yeah, it was around
I
like
saw you at
2002.
PG. I saw you at
Oh, can
PGF, and I
we
came
tell
up.
that story? Can we
I
tell that?
Yeah,
You
I
tell
came
it
up
first.
because I had been using your stuff for about 3 months. I'm like, I'm just robbing this dude. And I was following you on my personal account, just like creeping in the tall grass. You know what I mean? And just like taking it and just like going to class and showing it. And people are like, whoa, my god! I'm like, yeah, there's this guy on the internet. He shows all this stuff. It's cool. And then I see you at PGF, and I tell my partner Kenny, I'm like, oh, that guy, dude, he's got sickest chin strap cradle stuff. I've been teaching Nogi, so all I've been showing. So I went up to you. I
Yeah.
went up to you sitting there, best dressed guy in the event, by the way.
Thank you,
But I went up there and I was like, hey, bro, I just gotta let you know, your shit is sick. And then it was a pretty cool moment. We got that bullshit for the first time there. That was pretty cool.
bro. So I'll tell you, do my version of it. Where when I walked in, everybody was already kind of like, oh, hey, hi, hey, and I always say how like, I'm a nervous wreck. I know I have to go to these things and socialize and network and put my face out there, but brother, if I could just like stand behind the curtain, that's where if I could do this with a bag over my head, I would. It's just about the material, but I get it where everybody has to kind of connect the character to the techniques and the positions and stuff. But yeah, so I was already nervous going in, and when I went in, it was like I think Hodger was there. Matt, my friend from Epic Roll. Everybody was like introducing each other, and I saw you standing off to the side. And I'm gonna tell you, I thought you were like working the event. I thought you were like security or something. I was like, where did they
That
get this
that
fucking
was like the
guy?
first time everybody
You,
said that. Like, you working? I'm like, well, I was helping keep count because they don't. Nogi guys, 10th Planet guys, they don't know how to count points for
Past
jujitsu.
10. No,
So I
no.
was counting points for fantasy, for the
Uh-huh.
fantasy app. But yeah, everybody said, like, you security? I'm like, no, dude, I'm just.
Yeah, I go, bro, where'd they get this fucking Ukrainian monster from? I was like, holy shit. And they were just standing there all locked up. And I was like, good God, bro, they make them any bigger? And I was like, fuck. So I went, and when I sat down, so when you say that you came over to me, I know that I had told you this, but for the people who are listening or whatever, everyone goes on about how they review tapes and do this and study that. And it's all, but listen, man. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm like the other bald-headed guy at BJJ Fanatics. I just don't have a funny accent. But listen, we all have ways that we go back and study and review fights and techniques and trends. You know, but my thing is, I like to do psychedelics, and I'll sit and watch 8 hours of jujitsu, bro. That's kind of my thing. I really, I can focus on the energy and where these guys are, like mentally within the fight, and I love to see the techniques and everything. I just pick it apart. So, my friend in Ohio had given me like a little, like a little truffle, and I was like, okay, fuck it, you know, no one's talking to me anyway. So I just kind of settled in and I ate it. And I was sitting there, and bro, this is hysterical because I was just like everything started coming on. And I was like, "Woo, all right!" And then you came over and grabbed me by my shoulders, like, "Hey!" And I thought, "Oh God, here comes security!" I thought, "Oh
He
no,
saw
what did
me
I?"
take it.
Yeah, I thought, and then, bro, you put those two giant lunch boxes on me. I was like, you turned me into like a frail British guy. I was like, unhand me, sir. Like, I was like, what the fuck? But, bro, it was the best. Like, once you were like, hey, man, and I thought, oh no, am I like sitting in the wrong spot or something? And then you're like, you're like, bro, I just want to tell you. And then you went on about the my techniques and my stuff, and I was just like, fuck, bro. And then it lit me up too. I was like, wow, that was so fucking cool. I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, bro, you're changing the game for sure. Especially
Wow.
like I said for me. What do you think your most viral move is? Is it that neck crank from Side Control, where you just apologize to people,
I
you
will
ruin their
say
day, and you say you're
it's
sorry?
close. It's close. I did a treetop cradle, just kind of like a standing cradle off a single leg, and it's again, you just got to go back in history and stuff, But I try to apply it as far as like what's relevant, and at the time. I had just watched like a SEC or conference, whatever, collegiate conference, and bro, guys did not want to go down off of the single leg. The dude had it up on his shoulder. They hop around, hop around. I've seen them do like backflips, off of the single leg, or they'll drop down and it's like funk wrestling. They'll drop down and grab the other guy's single. So as far as like the most viral clip, I did like a standing cradle off of the single leg where the guy's balancing and hopping around, and then you just rip into it. It's gotten a lot of attention, and then it kind of both, where a lot of people were like, "Oh, I would just knee you," and I was like, "Hey, man, are we grappling or are we fighting? Because if we're fighting, I'm just going to kick you in the nuts and walk away."
Right.
But if we're grappling, or if we're even in like some kind of Muay Thai, or like a striking fight, like you're on one foot, bro. It's not a whole lot of power you can generate, that kind of stuff. But honestly, most of the attention is positive. You get a few guys that are kind of like jealous, or maybe haters, or like I should have thought of that kind of shit. But for the majority, most of it's positive, bro. But I will say the neck crank, that just quick short crank, people were calling it the Hannibal Lecter. I don't know. I just do it to guys. I just like sometimes man, maybe I'm kind of done. I am a little bit older, so my gas tank only goes so far. But if I'm trying to end it quick, I'll pull that shit out of the bag. But as far as like most viral, it did get a lot of attention in both directions. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you'll break the guy's neck or something," and honestly, uh, you will tap before that. It's like what they say about how you don't have the mental capacity to bite your own finger off. You
Right.
know, so you're not gonna. And I just kind of explained this on the BJJ Fanatics podcast in a similar fashion, where ultimately, like, there's more of an opportunity for you to break my foot than for me to break your neck. Like, you can fight the foot lock, you're doing it, you're defending, and then your skeleton will fucking rebel against you. You know what I mean? You're like, Paul, oh shit, my foot. The guy just popped your foot. But if I'm cranking on your neck, bro, it's a mental thing. Trust. I've done the homework as far as like the the psychology and the psyche of the application of these moves, more so than just like the physical effect. It's really where, like, I'm trying to get into your head, and it's nothing shy of being intrusive. Where, like I say, the smother. There's no grappler, I don't care what level, that's going to continue with their application or their position or their transition with this shit, with the smother on their face. They're going to reach and grab for that
Yeah.
hand first. Um,
Acknowledge it. Yeah.
yeah, so there's a mental action for reaction, and when people like go, oh, you're gonna break the guy's neck. No, bro, you'll tap before that because you can feel it. You feel it all. I feel it because I'm connected to you. And if you notice when I do it, I can always just like subconsciously, I'm like, pow. And as soon as I say it, they do it on my back or my shoulder just based on the connection.
Yeah.
Um,
Just grab these guys and sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. There's like a whole there's a whole sorry. There's like a whole thing like, dang, this guy's out here just freaking
Man, but
dude's just driving home, can't change
I
lanes. Just 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 straight driving.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so I will say probably between that, and then my son Vincent has one where he kind of jumps up on you like side saddle, from the guard, and he'll do both hands. He'll simulate that crank or that choke from a guard position, and then drag you down into like a kind of like a hybrid like lotus sweep, but with the neck and the head, and again, it's just based on like physics, where no one's trying to break the neck. We're not trying to do any of that. We're just trying to turn the head, because where the head goes, the body will follow. So I follow that kind of philosophy. But yeah, and then we're fighting too.
Right.
So
Right. I generally I would always go for the hip hike, but you showed the one where you come up on the hand, you come over and you grab the chin, and then you drop down for the flower sweep.
yeah,
That's the one I've been hitting the most in
yes,
training.
mm-hmm.
And then and then when they, as a big guy, I don't shoot triangles
Right,
because that's dangerous for me because guys are just gonna pass.
mm-hmm.
Uh, so when they sprawl out on the flower, you just send the head away, and then omoplata's right there. So
Yes.
I literally just been rocking that for like 2 months. No gi, that's been my jam.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that transition into like armbar omoplata, the Three Brothers is sick, because for me, that's traditional, jujitsu. I don't know about this eco and whatever the fuck is going on,
Yeah, no,
but I know that I used to train those three positions back to back, boom, 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 100 this way, 100 that way, and then I was able to find the link and connect the two, and the transitions from, what I kind of created. And then again, like I, I just, I try to find value in whatever, whatever we're really able to resource. Everybody, I'm a catch wrestling guy, but it's not catch wrestling versus jujitsu for me. I fucking love jujitsu. It's not a gi or no gi thing for me. I love the art of grappling. So I, like I say, or like, and I get a little bit of shit from both sides. My traditional jiu-jitsu gi guys and stuff, they're like, they know that the wrestling is a little bit of a, wrench in the wheel of
Mhm.
stuff, kind of corrupts the flow of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And then the catch wrestling guys are like, you're not a purist. And it's like, hey, bro, But fucking, I love seated guard.
Yeah.
I'll pull guard faster than a bitch, bro. I love it, you know?
Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes.
You
Depending
know, but
on your
again,
opponent, right?
yeah. And then what happens when the guys, yes, I'm a top guy, but trust me, I've been in situations where guys sit and it is a hellhole, you know? I mean, it was literally a booby trap. And I say this with respect to the move where everybody goes, oh, you're gay if you pull guard. So listen, when you pull guard, it's the only technique that not only neutralizes, but it sets a trap at the same time by putting the bottom guy in a position of confidence and security. You know, depending if you have a bat, but I'm just saying, like, I've trained with the Meow Brothers. I have a friend, my friend Wilson, who was like he's the Saudi Arabian international coach.
Okay.
But bro, the kid almost gave me a heart attack one night. He had just come from Brazil and strong beer and bola game. Was a star student from the Meows, and man, he got on my back faster than lightning, and I had me up for like 2 days. I was like, what the fuck happened? But it taught me to respect the position, to be aware of what they're doing. You know, not just like, oh, I'm gonna bulldog this guy because he sat in front of me. You know,
Right.
so with that, it just I just have respect for techniques that are functional, valuable. I know that I have a lot of success through Instagram and stuff, but I say, bro, it's like I know some of the top guys and shit, and just short of choreography, like goddamn, bro, like you add a little bit of sweat and adrenaline and a little bit of like fuck you, you're not gonna do that to me, and a lot of these moves go right out the window.
Right out the fucking
My
window.
man, yeah.
Yeah. I see. I'm not.
So
I'm. If people follow me, they know like I shit on people who pull guard. Obviously,
I
that
know, I
you know.
know. Uh-huh.
But people misunderstand me. I don't mind a person pulling guard if you're going against a guy that is a world collegiate wrestler. You know, this guy's got me in the takedown. I'm Chet.
Yeah, why?
I'm
We're
smaller.
gonna go to the ground anyways, right?
Right. I don't
Hmm.
mind a guard pull. I don't. I'm anti starting from your knees in class.
Yeah, that's
That's what
bullshit.
I'm talking about. I'm all about stand up and fight. If you're going to pull guard,
Yeah,
pull it the right way. If you're
right.
hurt, you're injured,
Hmm.
pull guard.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's I
Mhm.
don't mind using the guard if you're using it efficiently. I'm just anti starting from your knees because the only one starting from your knees is your ex girlfriend.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I love it. Yeah, that's and you can cheat too. You can sit on your butt, and the both of you slap, and then you jump up on your knee quick, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah, yeah. You
I'm top
motherfucker.
guy,"
We
you
all
know.
done that. We've all done
It's
that.
like, "Hey, wait, we were both just wow, fuck,
Jumps up to their
yeah."
feet and buries you. Yeah, those fucking.
But
You know.
I will say, I have seen though, there was a time when Instagram wasn't so shy, and there's a video where a lady was filming from the top of her condo, and apparently a guy had stolen the other guy's dog, and the guy came back to get it, and he grabbed his dog, and they started a confrontation. The guy dropped down into guard, grabbed the dude's foot, broke one of them, and the dude fell back. He grabbed the other one, broke the other one, grabbed his dog, and fucking walked off across the street.
Yeah, I remember one time I was shitting on uh, that, and Dean Lister comes in the comments and goes, I break legs in street fights." I'm like, "Well, okay, that checks out. That checks out."
uh, but for sure, I mean that's a whole different ball game too. What takes place, what they consider street or combat jujitsu, or I'll be honest. You're only going to see those clips from me. I went up to Boston, and I did a shoot with Bernardo, and he hasn't talked to me since.
Oh
He was
no.
shook, brother. He was shook. He was like, "Ooh, yeah." I mean, I don't want to do the impersonation, but he was like, "Man, you do that?" He's like, "You do that to people?" And he's like, "Man, that's crazy." He's like, and then he even says in one of the clips, "Don't do this." I started laughing. I go, well, he goes, or you can, depends on the rule set, or, like MMA or self defense, or, depending on what the tournament is. And I go, or like a Saturday open mat. He goes, no, no, no. He goes, no, don't do that. And then even I'll be honest, I had to cut it. But even at the end, he goes, man, I love to learn these, dirty moves. He goes, but I'm probably never going to do them.
Yeah. I mean, I think your moves would be very valuable for law enforcement.
Yes. And I was working with I'm headed down there tomorrow. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but yeah, the lady was a police officer. I didn't even know it. And then she was kind of there training, doing a private a little bit earlier, and she was doing some techniques. And then not that I try to expand on things. I'll never dog something, but she was training, and I said, hey, there was a lady that was doing this earlier. It was her. I fucking don't know. I didn't have my glasses on, but it was. She goes, that was me. I go, oh shit. But she was doing like a defense, like a technique to, keep pressure away, and uh, it was a little vacant, a little general, it really didn't have a decisive result. So again, I just kind of took her aside and said, hey, instead of doing this and pushing on their collarbone, and they're rigid, you have to turn the spine. You have to take their power away from them. If you're trying to push the person off of them or resist pressure, they're strong like this. It's straight on. So you have to start to turn the spine, take the power away, and then it just starts to, manipulate and distort the
Right.
position. They don't have any power. So I shared it with her, and she was like, whoa, holy shit. So yeah, there is a lot of value. I have some cradle techniques, but the only thing that it's a little tough to work against is fluid exchange, and if they fucking bite you. But the cops or the officers that I've talked to, they're like, hey man, if this guy spits on me, he's done.
Right.
Cameras are off. Or they say, if this guy bites me, he's not, yeah, he's gonna have a bad night.
The
But
thing the thing I find with cops teaching cops is you got to teach them something, or I'll tell them, be like, what's your holster side, right?
yeah,
So I'll be like, when you're rolling, you cannot expose that to them.
no, nope.
So like I want you guys to try to learn to roll and be mindful of where that would be and try to keep that hip away. So um
It's a huge concern for sure. And I like that you kind of taken it in this direction, because within our instructionals, I have a gi instructional. And for me, bro, it's my favorite one. I will take that instructional and I'll put it against anybody's fucking 8 hours of systematically shooting the bullshit. I don't care. But as far as like a true mix of wrestling and jujitsu, we say gi jujitsu. Like, this is wrestling and jujitsu. Wham, like that. It also has a strong self-defense application. I know a couple of friends of mine that have already taken some of the catch wrestling positions that I demonstrate. Again, they're not. It's not mine. It's a catch wrestling application, but they use it for not. If I listen, if a knife or gun comes out, I'm the fuck out of
yeah,
there.
well,
But
me too.
I'm not gonna do jujitsu. And it's not like, what? Hold on a second. Let me back up. Look at my black belt.
Yeah, let me get mine, right?
I got 14 of these motherfuckers in here. But no, but for real, bro, if a gun or a knife comes out, man, it's not. No one wins. But the people train it. So I mean, it's better to have a little something, if in case not, or not, instead of nothing if you're in that situation. But um, some of my techniques are the stuff that I do in the gi. As far as like resourcing the cradle position for control or holding someone, I use the material, which makes it different. Where I solidify the cradle through the material, one end or the other, and it frees up my other hand to initiate, gi lapel chokes, that kind of stuff. But also, we control the pants through the cradle position, which kind of solidifies the bunch, and then you have a free, hey, help kind of thing,
Right,
or don't move,
right.
But instead of having like both hands occupied within a traditional cradle application, you're not going to do anything here but hold the guy and go, Mark, go
Right.
get help.
Right.
But I've kind of pushed the information a little bit to where it's like, hey, now why do I have to do this, lock my hands when I can lock on the material? And now I have the guy's pants and I have him still
Right.
within a cradle
And
position.
then you could get to your speaker or what? Yeah.
Yeah, reach in and grab whatever you want from them.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I mean,
Where are you based?
I
Where are you based out of, Dave?
okay, so I'm a Florida grappler. I had an academy in Orlando. I just moved out to Vegas. We're just about at the 2 year mark. But I had an opportunity to. I had built my own build. I did the shopping mall kind of jiu-jitsu academy kind of thing. And then I built my own building. Well, we went private first, and then I built my own building, and was still private, or it was just kind of like a club. It was more like a motor. It was kind of funny because they're like the motorcycle gang of grappling. It's like you have to kind of know somebody that knows somebody.
Right.
I mean, honestly, like, hey, listen, a lot of the
You're not
stuff that
teaching kids classes, is what you're saying.
no, 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 not at all. And then even as adults, how many times are you going to be able to take a knee on the neck? Like after 5, 6 times, you're like, okay, I'm good.
Right.
Next position, please. But no, I mean, but for me, we just started to pick up a lot of momentum, and I was gone, 2, 3 times a month, traveling and doing the seminars, and it was kind of like a family thing. Um, uh, uh, Both like for us for Blackout Grappling, combat center of the world, MMA capital, everything. Vegas is the shit. Um, Although I'm recluse, so I just look out the windows and go, whoa, look at that. But my daughter is in culinary. She started out at the pastry academy with like the French dude that makes all the stuff on Instagram.
Mhm.
But she's a chef, and she's working at she cooks for the Giada lady. Giada's,
Oh, Giada,
whatever.
that
Yeah,
the cook girl, yeah.
yeah, little Italian girl with like little T-Rex arms. But no, they love her. She just started over there and stuff. So it was kind of both, a little bit of a level up for us for Blackout, and then a little family thing, and also kind of next chapter shit.
Right.
I've lived my whole life in Florida, and just had an opportunity to kind of turn the page, So.
That's cool. So we had a question from a Mr. Wu. Uh, Catch wrestling or jujitsu, which is more better for self-defense in the street?
For sure, catch wrestling, because it's a top dominated application, top dominance application. It's more centered around the break than the control. Where jujitsu is like position. It works towards submission, but the catch is, it's literally focused on the break.
For sure. So you are in California right now. You
Yeah.
have a seminar tomorrow. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Uh, Gallegos Jiu-Jitsu, their alliance. Um, it's Man, I didn't know I was so close to the border.
Hey,
We're
get
way
if I,
down
hey,
here.
Dave, you just little bit of a drive train, a little thick Latina.
I know, because in Tijuana,
You can
Sam's
get
like, "You want
yourself,
to go?
you can
You
get
want to?"
yourself in trouble down there, dude.
I did. Well, I did it the one time, bro. Like I say, I surf. I'm a surfer. I went down to Rosarito one time. I had a buddy lived in Oceanside, and everything was cool, great time. But coming back, they did the machine gun thing on us. There was like 8 guys. They pulled us over. They went through all of our stuff. They were asking for money and everything. I was like, Bro, we were just down here to surf, but no, it was a nice time. It was a nice time, but yeah.
You'll find yourself a girl thicker than a McDonald's milkshake down here, Dave. Careful, my brother. Um, for
But
older grapplers, I got a question here. It
sure.
says, "Is from a Mitter, is blackout grappling good for older fighters?" He's 40.
Yeah, absolutely. It's based on that. Be on. Well, I don't want to say that. I've done it the same, even when I was younger. It's a pressure application. We were just kind of talking about it today, where it's not pretty, it's not flashy. You know yourself by being a big guy. Man, I wish I was that big.
Yeah.
But I learned at a young age how to distribute my weight. Wade Chalice was a huge influence on my grappling style. He was like an off-season coach to me. I would go from Florida to Pennsylvania for the summers as a kid, and I worked at this wrestling camp up in Pennsylvania, and I spent time with him. Gene Mills was a summer mentor to me and stuff. So that for the believe it or not, it is kind of like an older guy's application even though I'm in that realm now, for sure. It's based on controlling your opponent. As far as like him asking like his blackout style or application, good for an older grappler. It 100% is based on what we do from the headquarters position, enabling you to kind of, I don't want to say catch your breath, but control the momentum. Sometimes these younger guys are pretty scrappy, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to lock it up just to kind of shut them
You gotta
down
cook
for a
a
second.
motherfucker,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna cook you until you're
Like
tired.
kill
Then I'll
down,
move.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but for sure. And then you can do different things without really relinquishing your control. As an older guy, I can hold you and then just jam my knee into the ribs, get you to fucking flinch or say uncle, put it on your neck, put my fist in your face, kind of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and then once they start to squirrel around, you've had time to set your like kind of plan into place based on what they're doing or their reactions from the cradle position. So for sure, it's great for old dudes.
Guys, blackout. If you go to at blackout grappling, I'm telling you right now, you click on his links. He's got a ton of. He has merch. He has instructionals. It's good. I'm telling you guys. Don't do what I did and just find him via algorithm. This is your sign.
Man,
Follow blackout grappling right now.
thank you.
Um, and definitely give this guy a follow. He's got some cool no-gi stuff. Um, it's old school stuff, but the way he implicates it is just like it's like chef's kiss. For a big guy, for a guy who just likes to smash and feed shoulder pressure and hurt people, it's like it's beautiful. Dave's got a seminar tomorrow in Southern California. One more time, you want to give that?
Yeah, Gallegos Jiu Jitsu. It's down in Chula Vista tomorrow at 12 to 3. We go a little long because man, I try to give you as much as I can. Honestly, they got to get me to stop. My guys are, once I get going, I pop and then I'm gone. And then they got to go, hey, we're coming on the 3 hours. But no, I have plans on showing new stuff tomorrow. We're going to rip through some of these leg lock entries. I see a lot of guys struggling with traditional responses to, say, false reap, inside, outside de la Hivas, X guards, those kind of things. Um, you see the guys push the legs down, kind of push, turn the hips, want to run away, running man kind of stuff, or go with the spiral or the spin to fight to kind of go with the lock. Um, uh,
It
for
sounds like
me,
a lot of good stuff, dude.
yeah. So for me, I don't do that kind of stuff. I just implement the cradle. We're already bunched up. Your nose is already close to your knee. You're giving me the positions, and then I just throw that shit on them from there. And then a lot of guys they don't expect it, you know. So it's I'll say a little, this one is a little new, more so as far as like innovation. So like I say, a lot of the stuff you know, um, so just quick, because I was at like the first PGF, and I do these cradles from the bottom and stuff, and then Craig Jones does it, and everybody's like, "Oh my God!" And it's like, "Hey, dog, he just beat my shit." like nobody did that before. I did it. So I say that, right? I did this fucking move in my garage one time. My son and I were going at it. The whole crew was in there, and I fucking hit this off a back step. I was like, this cradle off of, he does a back step. I hit the cradle, boom, 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 roll and reverse him. I'm like, holy shit, what did I just do? And they're like, oh man. So we put time into it. We fucking, man, I did a whole instructional based on like this entry, and then we just kind of elaborated on like different kind of like maybe knee shield setup, da da da, smash, pass, kind of chest to chest. But I based this whole instructional off of this technique. And then like 2 years later, Jean-Jacques puts up a video of him in like ADCC in like 1993 or something. I don't know, bro. I mean, it was fucking, it had the VHS lines go through the tape.
Yeah.
And he fucking grabs this dude and he rolls him through and he rolls him over. And I was like, oh my God. I go, that's the move. I go, holy shit. So time passes, bro, and I'm like, man, and I don't want to say anything. Usually, if I see somebody do something, and I'm being honest with you, man, I see somebody do something, I'll blow it up. I'll be like, oh, cradle, bow, 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 you know. And I saw him do it, and I went quiet. I was like, oh shit, like no repost, no nothing. And then when I saw him, I go, I saw him at the PGF,
Right.
and I started to talk to him, and I was like, hey, can I share something with you? I go, bro, I did this fucking move in my garage, you know, and I thought,
This is
wow, you
mine.
know, yeah, I
Yeah.
thought, what did I just do? Like, holy shit, you know? And I said, and then we did a complete instructional, you know, it's blackout cradle from the grave, you know, I'm doing a cradle from bottom position, smash, chest, you know. And I go and I show him, I go, look, and I show him my move, and I see him go, like, like his eyebrow raised. And then I go, and then I saw this, and I go, dit, 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 and I show him, and I show him doing his own, you know, doing the move. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, man, he said, I don't even remember. He goes, I just lock my hands and I go with the motion. He goes, I just go with the flow and I get the sweep. And I was like, ha, holy shit. And I go, well, I thought I created that move. He goes, oh, it's okay. He goes, but at least you're on the right path. You have a good mind for this. I was like,
That's awesome.
fuck it, I'll take
You
it.
will, all these guys, these wizard level guys. You
Yeah.
know, there's us, and then there's these guys, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I have those
they
guys
see stuff. They're
in my
like,
DMs. I got those guys in my DMs. I did the fucking crank, and Eric Paulson blew me up and was like, dude, I haven't seen this move in over 40 years.
yeah,
And I was like, whew.
Paulson's cool. Paulson's cool, dude.
Yeah, I got all the big dogs at the table. It's pretty cool, man. I've done some work with Josh Barnett. He blows my stuff up all the time. We were part of Scientific Wrestling together. I'm not part of that association anymore. It's pure catch wrestling, and my stuff is is hybrid. You know, as much as I promote the catch wrestling part, it's really like a strong folk style application. I try to implement that kind of pressure and control and dominance, and it always seems to result in this like frustration from the opponent, which makes them vulnerable, and then we just go to
What
work.
do you think jiu-jitsu offers that catch wrestling doesn't?
Wow, that's a great question, man. So, there's
Bottom game,
so
maybe?
so let me, yeah, okay, ready. So as much as we're gonna get into like a physical or technique for technique, it gives you the confidence of being on a bottom, in the bottom position. You know, catch wrestling, bro. There are guard techniques, but it is in the act or attempt to move your back from exposure. You know, So the closed guard is what you consider a body scissor, and then instead of just having it kind of like your feet loosely locked or closed behind your opponent, we go one knee high, one knee low, and then squeeze, like implement like a
Body,
squeezing or
yeah,
pressure
like a body
technique.
lock. Yeah.
Yeah, from a guard position. But as far as what jujitsu has to offer, bro, that's what I mean. It's a fucking labyrinth. I love it. I love it. And then you add the gi, and it's a whole different monster. But as far as like what it has to, it's the confidence of being in a bottom position, which people ultimately think that it's compromised. It's like, oh fuck. But I know guys that are dangerous off their back, brother. So do you.
Yeah.
Um, it's so I would say that where the catch wrestling is very driven, and I've been in trouble for saying that before. That you can kind of see it. You can fucking see it coming. It's like a giant. It's like a giant T-Rex. It's like boom. Oh man, that's a motherfucker. That's a guy. That's a catch guy. Where the jujitsu is a little more sneaky. You think that you have this guy in a compromised position, him being on his back or being bunched up, or you're putting this pressure on him when maybe they want that pressure to redirect, take
Yeah.
you one way, tap you over here while they're trying to reach under here. So I feel that it gives you not only the confidence, but also, somewhat of an advantage that you can work from there. A lot of guys panic. I'm a wrestler. I want to fucking be on my back. I'm start freaking out. You know what I mean? But I think that the jujitsu is the art of being comfortable, like on the ground or in that kind of bottom
I
opponent.
would say jujitsu is like an automatic car. You're flowing. It's very smooth. Just
Sure.
drives. And catch wrestling is manual.
Yes.
I'm moving your shit.
100%.
I'm,
That's why I
you
said
know
it's
what I mean?
driven.
I'm
Yeah.
driving the car, but I'm
Uh-huh.
moving stuff. I'm
Yes.
making it move.
Well, that's what I say. And then a lot of the jujitsu guys, through history have adapted to that. That's what it ultimately is, based on a self defense. It's you get pushed over, you fall down, and you're like, oh no. And then the guy's coming after you. That's martial arts jujitsu
Right.
101. But put it in a sports sense, where the guys are, like you say, it's a very manual application. That's why I said it's focused on the break. It's like, I'm going to grab your arm and bend it and twist it, and you're going to go, no, no, and I'm going to go, yes, yes, kind
Yep.
of thing, where with jujitsu, I'm trying to sneakily get your arm caught, and then I go, oof, and it happens quick, bow.
Yeah.
But so like I said, I got in a little bit of trouble for that, where I kind of embraced the art of jujitsu, the setting of the traps. That's what I say about the guard pull, where it's like you want to do takedowns with me, I don't have to do it. I just sat. Now we're neutralized, or actually, you are kind of at a disadvantage. Where how many times have you seen when the guys sit and the guys go, get up, stand up, come on, they back away in MMA. They don't want to go down there.
Right.
It's a trap. So, but I love the ferocity of the catch wrestling, and I love that slick shit jujitsu, bro. And I make fun of it a lot, of like, oh, the cartwheels and rolling around. But like I say, man, look at the kid, the Levi kid.
I'll leave out. Yeah. Jones Leary. Yeah.
Bro, so he was part of Unity with Meow Brothers and my friend Wilson and all those guys training together. And man, I just barely stuck my finger in that shit and was like, whoa, it was awesome. So it just, it depends, how, what people put into the systems as
If you got
well,
the flexibility to lick your own butt cheek, dude, like then like, hey, bro, play
Fucking
that
do it.
game, I guess.
I can't. That's as far as I can get it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
don't know.
top guy.
That ain't me either. I'm a top also, brother.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate you coming on here talking with me. I'm super stoked. I'm glad. I'm happy to see all the success that you've had.
Thank you.
Um, I think you're just gonna blow up,
Thank
honestly.
you.
You know,
Yeah, I
I've
was
been
looking
watching.
to.
If you look at my YouTube's, I've watched every video on jiu-jitsu. And when I found your stuff, it was just like, wow. And it's been being in the game for a long time. It's hard to find something that really goes like, wow. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
blackout grappling, your stuff has done that to me. So I just want to give you your flowers. You deserve it.
Bro, thank you.
And again, let's plug your seminar tomorrow one more
Yeah,
time, and
tomorrow
then
Galagos Jiu-Jitsu down in Chula Vista. Like I say, it's 12 to 3. It's $50 for members, 75 for non, a hundo at the door. I just say that, but man, if you come and show up, just pay the not the member or the member's price and let's learn some shit. That's my thing. I like to share. Again, it's not about me. It's just about what I can contribute to the community.
it's beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Next time I'm in Vegas, I'll hit you up. We can get together, have some
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, absolutely, man. I hope your kid feels better,
Yes,
brother. I
sir.
know there's shit going around. It's rough. Yeah, my daughter's
Yeah.
had it, but yeah. Best to everybody, and hit me up when you're in Vegas.
All right, brother. Have a good
Thank
night.
you, man.
Later.
Peace.
Later, brother.